Hello, and welcome to House Lux Estate, your one-stop channel for all things finance and lifestyle. We're here to provide you with savvy tips, strategies, and insights to help you navigate through life's financial maze. Whether you're a fresh graduate, a young professional, or simply someone looking for financial wisdom, you've come to the right place. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that affects many of us: how to prioritize expenses when living paycheck to paycheck. First, it's important to acknowledge that living paycheck to paycheck is a reality for many of us. In the hustle and bustle of modern life, it's not uncommon to find ourselves in a cycle of waiting for the next paycheck before we can cover our expenses. This isn't a lifestyle choice, but rather a reality dictated by circumstances, whether it be stagnant wages, the rising cost of living, or unexpected expenses. Living this way can feel like a high-wire balancing act where one unexpected event can send everything spiraling. It can be daunting, constantly having to juggle bills, debts, necessities, and the occasional treat. The unpredictability can be stressful, and it's all too easy to feel like you're forever chasing your tail, unable to gain any financial ground. And let's not forget the emotional toll. The constant worry about making ends meet can be exhausting, and the fear of what might happen if a paycheck is late or less than expected can be paralyzing. It's a heavy burden to bear, and it's one that's shared by far too many. But here's the thing. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, you're not alone. Millions of people around the world are in the same boat, facing the same struggles. There's no shame in it, and it's important not to judge ourselves too harshly. But despite these challenges, there are ways to manage your finances effectively. And that's what we'll be diving into as we continue this discussion. So stay tuned, because we're about to explore some practical strategies to help you prioritize your expenses and make the most of every paycheck. To start prioritizing, you first need to understand what your expenses are. It's a simple statement, but it carries a lot of weight. Unpacking this weight is our goal for this segment. Let's start with the basics. What are expenses? Simply put, expenses are the cost of living. They include everything from rent or mortgage payments to the cost of your morning coffee. But not all expenses are created equal. Some are necessary, fixed costs, while others are discretionary and can be adjusted based on your financial situation. Take, for instance, rent or mortgage payments. These are typically fixed expenses. They are necessary costs that you need to cover to keep a roof over your head. Similarly, utilities such as water, electricity, and heating are also generally fixed costs. Then there are groceries. This is a necessary expense, but there's some wiggle room. You need to eat, of course, but how much you spend on food can vary greatly. Do you dine out often, or are you a master of the home-cooked meal? Understanding the breakdown of your grocery bill can provide opportunities for savings. Transportation is another key category. Whether it's gas for your car, a monthly transit pass, or the occasional Uber ride, these costs add up. But like groceries, there's room for adjustment. Can you carpool, use public transit more often, or even bike to work? Lastly, let's consider personal expenses. These can include anything from your gym membership to your Netflix subscription. They contribute to your quality of life, but they're not essential. This is where you can often find the most potential for savings. By categorizing your expenses in this way, you're not just making a list, you're gaining a deeper understanding of where your money goes each month. You're identifying areas where you can cut back without sacrificing your quality of life. And most importantly, you're taking the first step towards financial freedom. Once you have a clear understanding of your expenses, you can start to prioritize. And that's what we'll be talking about in the next segment. So stay tuned. Now that you have a clear picture of your expenses, it's time to prioritize. Understanding the difference between needs and wants is fundamental to prioritizing your expenses. So, what is the difference, you ask? Needs are those essential items we can't live without: food, shelter, clothing, and healthcare. Wants, on the other hand, are the things that enhance our lives, but we could survive without them. Think entertainment, vacations, and that latest gadget. Prioritizing your expenses starts with making sure your needs are met first. These are non-negotiable expenses. You can't skip meals or stop paying rent or mortgage. It's also crucial to take care of any healthcare needs, as neglecting these could lead to higher costs down the line. Next, look at your debts. High-interest debts like credit card bills should be paid off as soon as possible to avoid accumulating more interest. If you have loans or low-interest debts, make sure you're making at least the minimum payments. Not doing so could harm your credit score and lead to penalties. Now let's talk about wants. This is where you can really start to make a difference in your financial situation. Take a good look at these expenses and ask yourself, do I really need this? Or is there a cheaper alternative? You'd be surprised how much you can save by making small changes. Maybe you could cook more meals at home instead of eating out, or perhaps you could switch to a cheaper cell phone plan. Remember, it's not about completely eliminating wants. After all, we all deserve a treat now and then, but it's about making smart decisions and finding a balance. For instance, instead of buying a new book every week, you could borrow from the library or swap with friends. It's also a good idea to set aside a small amount of money for unexpected expenses. Life is unpredictable, and having a safety net can save you a lot of stress in the long run. Remember, prioritizing doesn't mean eliminating. It's about making smart decisions with the resources you have. With your expenses prioritized, the next step is to create a budget. A budget is more than just a financial tool. It's your financial compass, guiding you on your journey to financial stability. It's a plan that allows you to understand where your money is going, and more importantly, it helps you dictate where it should go. So, how do we create a budget? It's a simple 4-step process. First, jot down your total income. This is the total amount of money you bring in after taxes from all sources. Include your paycheck, any freelance work, and other sources of income. This total is your financial launching pad, the base of your budget. Second, list down all your expenses. You've already done this when you prioritize them. Now, it's time to get specific. How much do you spend on each of them? From the absolute essentials like rent and groceries to the more flexible ones like entertainment, write it all down. Third, subtract your total expenses from your total income. The result? That's your discretionary income. This is the money left over after all your bills and necessary expenses are paid. It's the money you can use for savings, investments, or treating yourself once in a while. Finally, assign a job to every dollar. This is called zero-based budgeting. In this method, every dollar you earn has a purpose, whether it's for bills, savings, or fun. This helps prevent mindless spending, because if every dollar has a job, you're less likely to waste it. Remember, the purpose of a budget is not to restrict you, but to empower you. It gives you control over your money instead of the other way around. And there you have it. You've created a budget. But remember, a budget is not set in stone. It's a living document that changes as your life changes. Stick to your budget as much as you can, but allow for some flexibility. Life can be unpredictable. So, adjust your budget as necessary and keep your financial goals in sight. Managing your money doesn't have to be daunting, and with a solid budget, it doesn't have to be. Let's quickly recap what we've discussed today. It's been a journey through the often challenging landscape of living paycheck to paycheck. We started off by acknowledging the reality of this situation, which is a shared experience for many. It's not an easy road, but understanding is the first step towards change. Next, we delved into the nitty-gritty of understanding your expenses. We emphasized the importance of identifying where your money is going, by categorizing your expenses into needs, wants, and savings or debts. This is a crucial step that helps you gain control over your financial situation and lays the groundwork for what comes next. Once you've got a clear picture of your expenses, the next step is prioritizing them. We discussed how to distinguish between essential and non-essential expenses. Remember, essentials are those things you can't live without, like rent, utilities, and food. Non-essentials, on the other hand, are those things that make life more enjoyable but aren't strictly necessary, like eating out, entertainment, and vacations. It's about making smart choices and sometimes tough decisions to ensure your financial stability. Then, we moved on to the concept of creating a budget. Crafting a budget is like drawing a roadmap for your financial journey. It guides you on how to allocate your funds, keeping your priorities in mind. We talked about different budgeting methods and tools that can help you stay on track and achieve your financial goals. Remember, managing your finances is a journey, not a destination. It's a continuous process of learning and improving. There might be setbacks along the way, but don't lose heart. Keep learning, keep improving, and most importantly, keep going. You've got this. And before we wrap up, don't forget to subscribe to House Lux Estate for more financial tips and advice. We're here to help you navigate through your financial journey. Thank you for watching.